And we don't live in a world anymore where women get to skate on relationships, thank God, and trying to control people. Like all the stereotypes about women being manipulative is because that's how we get pushed if there aren't people in our lives advocating for us to really be judged on our merits and to be looking at life as what's my hustle? What am I going to bring? How do I add value? So it's so critical, I think, to apply a lot of the same principles in rites of passage that you were talking about for your son to your daughters, and then making sure that that happens inside a woman's context with other women around who are also going to evaluate each other on their merits, on what they do, instead of throwing shade, instead of talking about how she looks and all that other stuff where, I mean, I connect with men really easily. I love the men in my life. I can get along with any man, but where I go to recharge, where I like feel centered is with powerful, amazing women, and I'm grateful for them. But they're all women who are about what they do instead of who they get along with. And I think like that's the default conversation for women is it's about who likes you as opposed to what you do.
Actually, she took my wife and then my thunder.
There's one thing my mother always told me though, and she told me this recently. She was like, love is fake. She was like, it's commercialized, it ain't what you think it is. And she goes, back in the day, they used to choose a man based upon whether or not he was going to be a good father, a good provider for the family. It wasn't an emotional thing per se. And I'm now finally getting there. That everything real.
Change, yeah.
Yeah,
I actually have raised, my daughter is in her second year of college, so I did have to go through this whole thing, and very much like what both of y'all said, from the male perspective, from my perspective, she was always with me. I always took her around. What I was trying to do was lay a foundation of what a strong male role model should look like. So I had her around all the same things I was going around, you know what I'm saying? But all the males was cool people and stand-up dudes. But to what you were saying is I also created a network, no matter what. She was always with either a mother or a cousin, a female cousin, or somebody, an auntie, somebody that shaped her entire existence when I wasn't on. So as long as she had a network, I was cool. You know, a teacher, a coach, she did all type of stuff, sports, whatever. So that's what you gotta do.
One other thing I want to add, if I could, is so this is something this is probably one of the only times you will ever hear me speak of the police in a positive sense, right? And bear with me.
Hey man, the camera's rolling because this is FTP right here. You know what I'm saying?
And don't get it twisted. Ain't nothing saying that. But I wanted to say it like that to get your attention because this is important. As far as so in Canada, there was this police cat, and the district he was in had a recidivist rate of like 86%, right? So recidivism just means if you go to jail one time, it's 86% of the people that go is gonna go again. You know what I mean? So basically, it ain't like no rehabilitation or nothing that's happening. You know what I mean? It's just, the same folks keep going in and out, right? So, in other words, this was a highly, everybody going to jail in this area. You know what I mean? So this cat, this police cat, he had this idea, right? He noticed that, every time he would see communities like that, they say, oh, it's a high crime, it's high, offenses and things going on. They said, well, let's get another prison, or let's get another jail, or let's get tougher on crime, and all of this kind of stuff. But the recidivist rate still stay where it's at, right? So that those things wasn't even impacting or affecting what was happening. So he had this idea of flipping it, and so he said, I'm gonna create something called positive tickets, right? And what he did was he started saying if he see like a dude on a skateboard coming down the street and a elder lady was on the street and he got off his skateboard and moved, you know, let her get by safely, he would pull him over and be like, hey man, give you a ticket for that. That was awesome. You know what I mean? And go get a free pizza, right? He started doing this, right, in a little neighborhood, and you know, it started catching on. You know what I mean? And he started asking different people in the community, like movie houses and stuff, like if somebody come in with one of my tickets, could they get a free movie? Could they get a hot dog? Could they whatever, right? So they had this little thing popping off where the kids was like, yo, if you do something positive, right, you could get a movie, you could get a pizza, whatever, right? So real talk, you could look this up, Positive Tickets, the real story. They did this for 8 years. He got the actual system to allow him to integrate it into their practice. So more of the pigs was doing this, you know, and but the point was, in that very isolated 1 in a million situations, they were able to create a positive ticket system, right? And that for 8 years they tested this theory, and the recidivism rate went from 86% to 8%. You know what I mean? Of reinforcing what you want to see happen instead of just punishing and reacting, right? So I'm saying this as it relates to parenting and fatherhood, that I've tried to implement this process with my son in terms of, you know, I used to be like, you know, the trash ain't done when I get home, son, I can't, you know, all that, right? Then I started saying, yo, man, take the trash out, you know, by the time I'm there, and we're gonna go get a pizza, right? Trash out. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because it's things that they want to do, instead of feeling like, do what I say, and all of this, our ego and our whatever we be dealing with, but more what really motivates a human being, and that's bringing out the best. You know what I mean? I just wanted to share that in the equation.
You want to say something right here? I was going to ask, do you know what that rate is here in America?
I don't.
It's pretty high.
I'm sure it's
real high. It's about 65%.
No, that was in Toronto.
Yeah, it's about 65%.
But it's picking up now. It's a movement in different communities. So it's called Positive Tickets, and PositiveTickets.com is where you can get the full story.
That practice is actually rooted in African tradition. There's a community, and I forget exactly what country it's in, but they actually, if they have someone in the community that strays away from the norms of that community, meaning break the law or break customs or whatever, they have a tradition of bringing that person into the center of town, and everybody in the community comes and says what they appreciate about that individual or what they like about that individual, and everybody gets a chance to come and speak something positive to that person, so they realize how valuable they are to the community, which also reduces that. You know what I'm saying?
You can feel that love right there. Yeah.
So if we go through all these, if people don't go all the way through the processes and the stages, and then they're at the sage point, I know I've seen that happen. Like, how should we as individuals also avoid that? But also, what are the possible repercussions if we listen to the sages that have not gone through the stages and worked their way through the community and built up the community?
See, you already got game from knowing them pieces. You know what I mean? Now you got something to qualify what you gonna listen to. You know what I mean? And that's what having the map is all about. You know what I mean? It's like, you know what I mean? What kind of work have we put in to earn our eldership or our respect? You know what I mean? Just because you get gray hair don't mean you ain't sold out to people. It don't mean, we know whatever, or just because you're a young cat don't mean you don't know nothing. You know what I mean? But it's about the resume, of these stages.
So I mean, it's a lot of power in this room, a lot of, different ages and things like that. I mean, there's people already, like, for one of the most prevalent rites of passage in our community now that is productive to a degree is sports. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the main channel, like a lot of us probably grew up around here, play CNY, it's how we learn each other. But there's other pieces that need to be added to that, so it's like, we want to make sure everyone that's here definitely signs in if you're interested in helping to put these things into effect in our community, and start to have these conversations. We're not going to resolve it in one night, but we can see from all the chaos that there is some order needed, and Brother Terrell right here is CD Panthers, there's a lot of young brothers down there that could benefit from, the whole community. We know that, but they also, Freddie Douglas say, you can't fix the broken men. It's better to focus on
The youth.
Said was that it's easier, to fix a new child than it is a broken man.
Yes, sir. I'm a little bit broken, but I'm working on it. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the shop.
And my thing with that is just really the mentorship thing. And I think that's what's, for me, from where I'm at, I guess, it's my 18th year down there with these kids. So I basically grew up with a generation. My first kids are 26 and 27. And I started, and he was the first guy that I ever coached, which is crazy, in basketball before I got to football. So my thing is the mentorship is what we're missing. And it's just I get kind of bitter with the fraternities and sororities. We do a lot of shucking and jiving, and then we don't see them down on what I call the battlefield. I don't see nobody at the battlefield where we got issues as far as mental health and young kids. Like I coach the 6-year-olds, 6 and 7-year-olds. And now the kids that I've coached bringing their kids, and they're younger and younger and younger. And like we said, the techniques of, like you said, one thing that I caught on was the technique of teaching. Is the skill of getting it. Like I said, if these brothers over here did one thing that you just said before they went out in the day, their life would change, and that was to meditate, sit back for a minute and think about what my day's gonna be and how I want that day to look and how I want, you know what I'm saying? If all those young cats even did that, what we talk about those numbers, the 86%, I'm just saying that would go down, and then we'll be doing, like you said, we'll be doing a little bit more thinking. Like a cat step on my shoes, it ain't nothing. If a cat, my fault, bro. You know what I'm saying? And going about your life and not lose your life. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, it's the mentorship, and that's why I'm just connected with this guy so deep.
So,
Go ahead, bro.
there might be less, what are those too in the community, right? That's a major issue right now, right?
What you mean?
But, what are those?
That's the material issue.
Oh, yeah.
Just throw something there, because I don't want us to lose this. Maybe could we have a moment of meditation before we even leave this room?
That would be awesome.
Would you be able to leave that?
I would love to.
Okay, but I want to say, I want to definitely hear from the young too, and so we got sports coaches here, we got people, brothers Ahmed, Aman that running tutoring program, lots of resources in this, in the room, photography, music, video. So apprenticeships can be, finding out who needs to get connected with who. So I want to make sure that whoever is committed, that we saw it was a big thing at the high school. At South Shore with 200 black men, we went out there and they made a big thing. That's great, but day to day is what's gonna really change something.
Right.
And we see everyone really complaining about what's happening to the CD. There's enough power in this room to really change what's happening. Now people will say, oh, it's all about the money. But you always have to remember that we are the money. Right? And we gotta really understand our power in the situation. So there's trainers in the room and all of that. So I want to make sure that we don't just leave like, oh, well, this brother came and we did some amens and and our ashes or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Peace, but that we come together and continue to to connect our resources. We're gonna.
Yeah, I unite with that, man. I was just gonna add on to something about, again, you know, the value of what we're talking about with rites of passage. It doesn't have to be like 100% formal, you know, formalized in the way I'm doing it or any other, you know, system, but the essence, you know, take the essence from it. Because time, right? One thing our ancestors understood well, right, was time and timing. You know, everything that we did was in tune with certain times. It was in tune with certain seasons. We mapped that. We didn't do that just because we had nothing else to do. We did that because of the science of timing, right? So there were times of the year when certain energies we wanted to be in tune with. There was a time of the year where no matter what you do, that's not gonna work out for you, bro. Right? And it's having that map and understanding that you move when victory is certain, right? And you be still to avoid defeat. You know what I mean? So one of those aspects, you know, a practical way to look at it is like if you plant certain seeds, certain plants in the wrong season, what's gonna happen to them?
They ain't gonna even bust
They're gonna die, right? But if you plant, you know, certain crops in the spring, you know what I mean? When things are coming to light, it's more sunlight, it's more water, you know what I mean? It's gonna have a better chance to do what? Grow, prosper, right? That ain't nothing it's not theoretical, you know what I mean? That's how things are. You have to plant things in their right season, right? So that they have the benefit of the whole universe supporting it at that time.
Right.
So when we talking about these stages, we not just talking random, but we talking about our seasons for the proper development of certain things, you know what I mean? And I'll give you an example for my son, something that we just did in the winter solstice. So in the Kemetic tradition, all the solstices and the equinox are important times for alignment, right? For planning ahead, planting seeds, right? Certain seeds, right? So in the winter solstice, where we this culture is Christmas time and gift giving and things of that nature, it's in there in back in the days, the kind of gifts that you give are spiritual gifts or psychological gifts or things that you want to accomplish, you want to reinforce character values, things like that. So we did those rituals during just the winter solstice. We did those rituals, light diet, you know, kind of fasting, not a bunch of TV and, you know, getting off the phones and all that, and focusing on what for the year to come, what are the gifts that you want to bring forth, right? So my son, he did that with us, you know, and you know how he's like whatever, but he was excited too because there's things he wanted to accomplish. So we did that process, and then we created vision boards. I don't know if anybody ever did a vision board. Well, you know, you cut out pictures, images. In Kemet, they call it Het Haru, right? The image, right? It's powerful. Seeing it. You cut the things out that correspond to what you're going for. You put it on the wall, and you give it energy every day, right? Not hocus pocus. You got to put in work. But seeing that image is going to reinforce something in your life. So, and when you do it at the solstice time, is when the energy is the strongest to support planting these things. So my son did it, and since January till now, so many things that he put on his board, like a pair of Yeezys, right, was something he put on his board. Now, you know, when the Yeezys come out, you can't just go buy some Yeezys. You got to be in a raffle and all this kind of stuff just to get the honor to pay all that money. Right? You know what I mean? So, whatever, man. I use it all as a teacher tool, right? So he that's some of the stuff he put on his vision board. Hey, it's cool, man. Well, anything we want, we can go get, right? So with our culture and with our diligence, right? So long story short, though, that encouraged his belief system, right? And he entered in a raffle and couldn't get in. He was crushed. I couldn't, you know. And I said, remember, man, you can only think positive. Long story short, he just got the raffle. He just got his shoes this morning. You know what I mean? And he didn't get the shoes to wear them, but he got them to resell them as a stock. But that was his experience. So now he jumping around like, my vision board is cracking.
So applying that same science that you just explained to us about timing and meditation and dialing in the seasons and knowing when to plant the harvest and everything. So applying that to like the development of your kids and everything. I know my daughter right now is 9 years old, and I definitely missed the mark on some things that I blew at. So moving forward, trying to get it right. So now it's like, you know, you got all these books on psychology that kind of study the development of the child, and they say from this time to this time is the best time to kind of instill certain things in your kids, because they tend to retain information a little bit better when they're younger versus when they're getting older. So I know from experience and being a young black boy that our minds work a little bit different. We see the world differently. Oppression is real. Racism is real. We internalize a lot of things. Not having mental plays a huge role in all that. So dealing with my child, the question is there like a science? Is there like a blueprint of some sort that kind of helps coach black parents in particular on when the best time to instill certain things into their kids during the development of their life? And this, you can chime in on this too. I know you would. But yeah.
Yeah. I'm, you know, again, you know, this is my opinion. I'm just one person. You know what I mean? Ain't no science as far as like follow this on every child and this is gonna work, and you know what I mean? Like I don't think our ancestors taught like that. You know, we were very much adaptive. You know, it depends. You know, all of that is the way. You know, that's African dance. That's how we move with the rhythm. You know, you don't come in there like, I'm just gonna do this, no matter what the beat doing. You know what I mean, right? You gotta move to what the beat doing.
Right.
So I think there's a good book. I can't remember the full name of the doctor. It's a beautiful sister who wrote this book. It's called Conscious Parenting, right? And not conscious in, you know, like in the, you know, conscious like dashiki conscious, you know, no more dashiki, but not that kind of conscious, but conscious parent, like aware of what you're doing, you know, as a parent. You know, like what part of this is my own stuff that I'm putting on my kid versus what part of this am I aware, you know, so how to be more aware and present for them. You know, it's a really practical book, you know, about really self-awareness. You know, we can't heal and teach nothing without self-knowledge. You know what I mean? And I think that, you know, we can look back and say this was this time and I should have did that and all that, but the best time is always now. You know what I mean? And doing the best we can now. You know what I mean? But with mindfulness. That's why meditation is key. Meditation is the practice of mindfulness. But mindfulness is living in meditation. You know what I mean? Being the meditation in the moment when everything around you is spinning. You know, that's all it is being mindful. Having that reminder to say, how does my ideal self want to handle this? You know what I mean? And we can cultivate that with practice. You know what I mean?
So it's kind of like the outcome of a situation largely depends on how you react to it.
period. Every time. In martial arts or any other thing.
Yeah, there's a book, Developmental Psychology for Black Child, my name is Wilson.
I'm gonna ask you that again before I leave.
Yeah, but everything that, Stick said was on point. I just wanted to chime in relationship to time. I came up with an acronym that is pretty positive. I say, in relationship to me, in relationship to my time, it's the truth in me. Truth, T, in, and me. So the truth in me is related to how I use my time. You feel me?
What's up? I want to hear from the young. Somebody had to put their hand up. But I would like to hear from the young because I appreciate everybody that showed up, you know, brothers and sisters that's older that showed up. And this is showing up for the young, I think, you know. But I'd like to hear from you what you think you need from us as a community and from your community in general to help you be stronger. I like to hear what you think, you know. Can anybody start with that? Like, what do you need? Go ahead.
I don't know. I feel like, you know, I'm really involved in the community. Like, I don't know, if you know, like, down at GCC, Dre and Miss Tracy and all of them, so I sit down there, they support me a lot. Like, they keep me with a job. Like, if I need anything, like clothes or money or ride home or anything, they help me. I don't know.
What do you think other young people might need? If you're good, you don't need nothing. I mean, I wish I need to get where you at. You know what I'm saying? But what do you think other young, you know, people that you observe in school and around you, what do they need to be stronger, to be greater? What would you say? What do you need? What's gonna make you feel better?
I need support from family.
Support from family. That's good. Take that. Supporters that's gonna follow you.
Yeah. Where I'm going? Because like you always talking about like what you gonna do, you gotta have a hustle like you guys been talking about. I have a couple friends of mine that like to watch anime. So like I'm thinking, so I was thinking, we're sitting around thinking, man, I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do, man. Why King's always talking about, you know, you gotta think in the future, you gotta get right, you gotta have like a money hustle. You can't just be sitting on the couch at mom and dad's house, you know. So like one thing I came across, like I was like, man, I was talking to my friends, like we should make our own show. And like, man, we can't do this. Like, yes, we can. You never say no. So like now, like I took them in, took them step by step, and we're like doing it step by step, and I hope like we actually accomplish it and stuff.
Yeah, man.
I like it.
You know something about animation, that brother.
And I can help you edit that.
You got two supporters right there, man.
Down, so down.
Can I ask a question of the youth?
Before they finish these questions?
No, I didn't know they were still going. After.
Okay, yes, you got the next question. You need investors. I need some investors. Okay. What you need investors in? Chris, what you need from your community?
I'm really not sure. I'm not sure. Other than
Structure and people that's gonna push you to be the best you can be.
One thing that we do need in our community is people who go naggers. And the reason why I say that is because like you can nag a child, like and maybe they're gonna push themselves because they're always hearing that. But like if you say it just once or twice, then like, push it aside. So
Consistency.
Push you. Everybody that see you gotta know what you wanna do, cause then we can ask you about it.
Yeah.
That's what I do. What you doing? And every time I see you, I'm gonna ask you about it. If everybody in this room see you and ask you, you're gonna probably try to step your game up. You're gonna ask.
We used to have that though.
Well, we can't, you know, I'm gonna say something that my older brother always said, used to be's don't make money, man. You know what I'm saying? A person who lives in the past is homeless, so you can't live in the pyramid there from 2,000 to 3,000 years ago, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, keep it going.
Since we was gonna ask a question to the leader.
Do you still have hand parking?
No, they good.
Oh, and I'm glad you made me wait, because what I was hearing was everything that you guys were saying, that you want supporters, you want investors, and then what you said was going on. You said that you need people to nag you. So what I'm interested in is, what you're talking about is like continued commitment and engagement, like that structure, that mindfulness. What in your life do you keep coming back to? What is it that you love right now that you're always doing? And that, like, for me, I won't get out the house once I've walked in the door, but then I realize I leave my phone charger at work, and I'm out the door in 3 seconds. I'm gonna have my phone charger because I need my phone on me. That's one thing that sadly really motivates me. So for you guys, what is it that you just won't give up? What could we, as the adults around you, put in place to keep you committed to what you're working on, what you love? Is it your friends? Like, how do we keep you coming back? If we were to like build here in Black Dot, if we had brother coming in helping you edit, if we had Toya filming you, if we were to do all that, what would make sure that you were bugging your mom to get you here every week? What would have you in this room every week if we put all the other stuff in place, other than us nagging you? What would make it fun for you to come? Thank you.
Meditate. All right, we gotta have a moment of meditation. You got a question? We'll probably take the last one. It's almost 8. So,
It's almost 8. Yeah, but peace and blessings to everybody that's here. It's been a pleasure, man. I didn't want to get some sorry, and I apologize to everybody for being late. However, I just wanted to increase awareness. I'm taking this time and advantage of everybody being here. I might as well, man, increase awareness of our program at Africa Town on Saturday mornings. We have a math and science program that run by an organization named ADIA, African Descent Youth Affairs. And we launched a program called Sankofa Tutoring System. It's a human capital development program, pretty much in the form of math and science and cognitive learning. So every Saturday from 9 to 1 at Africa Town, anywhere from 6th grade to 12th grade, man, we over there, man, again from 9 to 1, man, show up on time, a little breakfast, obviously offer to the kids in the morning, a little exercise to wake you up, and we there till 1 p.m. If you have any questions or any information, see me after the event or talk to Joaquin. But again, it's a math and science program. Our life is math, Africa is math, our ancestors was math and science, and that's what it is. No question.
That, I mean, we could talk about what other resources is in the room, you know, for it, you know, what, because everyone here don't know everyone here, so what other resource programs, what you want to talk about, what's going on? Somebody had a hand up? Oh, okay, mine, go ahead.
I had a question like for the entire room, really, speaking about rites of passage. So we have a fashion program we're about to start at Africa Town Fashion Design and Merchandising for middle school and high school students. And I know thinking it's just about African rites of passage, a lot of things are around clothing items, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's a scarf or a jacket or a suit or, you know what I mean? But I just wanted to put this out there to get ideas, brainstorm real quick about things that you guys think would be interesting, rites of passage, clothing items that our students could design in their 8-week clothing design program. If anybody just had any ideas for us, or you could just holler at me at the end of this to give me some ideas, but I just wanted to put that out there to the group, you know.
So fashion, you want to talk about the other program, the health program?
Yeah, so we also have Africa Town Health Scholars Program, which will be a full year health careers pipeline program for high school students and middle school students in Seattle, where they can shadow doctors, dentists, and nurses, all different health careers. But we have our kickoff event is called Doctor for a Day, where we're going to have capacity is 100 students come to Africatown Center for Education and Innovation on April 9th, Saturday from 10 to 2. We have like 12 different workshops for students to do. We have a dental simulation workshop. They'll all get a free dental cleaning and learn how to do a dental cleaning. We'll have the ambulance there, so they'll do an EMT training, first aid, CPR, suture clinic, where they'll learn how to, learn to sew people back up. We'll have surgical simulation, so we have a bunch of different workshops for students, but we have the flyers here. We have like a bunch of flyers here, like 100 flyers, so if you guys want to pass them out to the community as well, we're going to have registration opening up this week for students. So yeah, there'll be free lunch as well. Students will leave with first aid, CPR train, certification card, and like a gift bag of goodies, and they'll be able to meet medical and dental students from UW, SU nursing students.
Sorry, so you said the adults, or is that for kids?
That's for kids.
Oh, okay, because I have my coaches that I want to have CPR certified for down at that field. Is it something that they can jump on?
Yeah,
Okay, I got
Let's get some more resources.
If you bring the players, then we'll do the training.
Okay, so we got Tahoe, Walt, C, talking about young kid, so that everybody knows what's in the room too.
My company, We Live Playfully, trains babysitters and substitutes in Montessori preschools. So we mostly targeted towards late high school and college age kids. But you come, you do about 23 hours of volunteer work, then you get the stamp of approval. Every time you substitute, we market you to the parents. And parents, you get Montessori trained babysitters.
So money.
Yeah, it's all about like.
you give young people money.
Exactly.
Okay,
My name is Walter. Me and Joaquin are running a program. It's called Game Changers. I started with Garfield Teen Life Center. I've been working with them for about a month now. We're gonna have about 10 to 15 high schoolers go down to Washington Middle School and be mentors and help out with a fitness, nutrition, tutoring program with the most at-risk in the building. Me and Joaquin found out they got 150 black males and 139 are felons, 2 to 3 grades lower than what they are, so that's about 80%. And Garfield has 250 black males and 225 are at a 1.0 GPA, and that's at Garfield. So we've personally taken this on to, help the situation, change it throughout the system, and help the folks get right, show face to the people that are screwing it up. Hopefully the system will latch on to what we're doing, try to make this the blueprint to change everything. So the teenagers at Teen Life Center, they're getting their training with the fitness part of it. This is one of the cats that's in the program, Elijah. We have a few young ladies that are gonna be in it, and we're just gonna go down there and change the system.
Talk about what you've been doing for years, the training and young people.
I started off with Willie Austin doing his training program, and I just didn't see him finishing with the teenagers. So what I decided to do is work with teenagers and help them complete their goal through sports originally. I've helped in 11 years, 120 kids get into school through athletics or whatever their goal is. I've signed up 35 at SVI for the vocational program, the construction. I've signed up about 75 flaggers just to get a gig, felons, exes, mainly to show the kids that their dad can do something. And that's my whole motivation. I don't really care about grown men that are convicts. That doesn't matter to me, but the kid doesn't get motivated unless they see their dad doing something. So I try to make the full circle complete. And I do it through training and conditioning and just setting their goal, and we go get it every day. Nothing fantastic about it, just like they said, nagging. Ask him. He told his mama one day he wasn't coming to school because he didn't have no clothes, but
he spent $20 to go see the chick the night before, so I had to go pick him up at 7, talk to him for about 45 minutes, went hard on him, and he went to class. He ain't missed a day. So, you know, he's an example, you know, tough situation, but he got a 3.6 GPA. He don't let it stop him. He wants to go to Clemson and be starting quarterback, so that's what we do.
Peace, my name is C, and I co-facilitate the Young Kings Leadership Development Rites and Passage Program at Africatown with White King. 11 to 14 years old, we'd love to have a lot of these brothers come out and partake of the program. What we try to do is instill things inside you to make you critical thinkers, and like you say, learn the rules of the game so you know how to make proper decisions and choices. We got a lot of activities. We got a new program that we're trying to implement, which is called Down for the Crown. And that's, you have a crown, you earn jewels in the crown. With those jewels, you earn rewards. As you earn the crown, the rewards get bigger and have more value. So, glad to have you out. It's Wednesday nights, 4:30 to 6 p.m. every Wednesday at Africatown.
Any final thoughts? We get into this meditation. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I'm Anthony Tackett. I'm a film producer, videographer. We'll start with the workshops. I don't have anything official yet, so you guys have to pressure White King, but I'm willing to teach you guys the arts of video production and editing. A lot of this, who of the youth, who has a cell phone? Put your hands up if you got a cell phone. All right. The cell phone right now is liberating you to be a filmmaker. I can show you how to produce content within your cell phones, edit, and upload it to your network. You can distribute your stuff, you can monetize your stuff. You can make money right now with the craft that with the skills that you learn. Every 2 weeks, starting March 2nd at 6 o'clock, 6 to 8, we're having a film group. It's called the Seattle Filmmakers of the African Diaspora. I invite the youth to that meeting. We're connected with a lot of the industry players in Seattle. The people that you see doing all the commercials and networks, they look just like you. So you guys should come there just to listen. If you don't have anything to contribute to the group, cool. You got a lot to contribute, Mr. Anime, and I think that's dope. You should definitely bring that to the table. But it's a great environment. I think you guys should check it out, take it seriously. I started film production when I was in high school. I'm teaching students at Washington Middle School video production. I just taught them how to edit in like 30 minutes. And they're already cutting stuff with their own devices with free services. All right, so come out, check it out. Pressure White King into that workshop, and you'll pressure me to make it happen tomorrow if that's the case.
And outside of her, everything's geared toward males. I still am in a situation.
Well, that was today was good. You know, that's the next one, man. You know,
I need it out, man. They're kicking my ass, bro.
He been asking about. You want to talk about the class?
Oh, the Jesus class?
Yeah. Intro to visual.
Yeah. So we're probably gonna do that sometime starting in the next couple weeks. So we have our Young Jesus program. So intro to visual design, where you can come learn the basics of design and get your drawing skills on. I actually have a couple people that were in my class before, and you get to learn a little bit about also animation too. And so I mean, just you get to know the basics about like about color and how we can how you can start your own business marketing yourself and just knowing the basics of that. So.
What's the age range on that?
It's I'd say 7th through 8th grade.
Oh yeah, peace. I have a nonprofit called Pan-African Center of Empowerment. This spring, we're going to be launching a curriculum in cooperation with Seattle Vocational Institute to teach tech boot camps, so web development, mobile app development, developer operations to the community 17 and older, and also trying to start a pilot with Seattle Urban Academy as a bridge for the students coming out of their senior years who are trying to figure out what to do. You know, we all understand that tech is changing the landscape. There's $100,000 and $200,000 jobs out here that you don't have to go to college to go do. And so basically our curriculum is geared towards teaching you web design using sites that you already know. So whether it's WorldStar, whether it's whatever, basically, you know, bring in an education that will cost $15,000 to the community for free or next to nothing as best as we can. So kind of tied to what my brother's talking about in math and science, we created this, we created the computer, we created the internet, you know, they don't talk about it, so it's basically applied math and science, and we're getting to launch that out in spring. So touch base with the brother Joaquin, and, you know, as we keep things going, we'll be able to connect dots here, black dot, brown dot.
Take us out with it.
What's the consensus? Does anybody want to try a little bit of meditation? Show of hands. Okay. So yeah. So there's many different ways to meditate. You know what I mean? Just so you know, if you're not familiar at all, you know, there's words you can repeat, which are called mantras. You know, that's a type of meditation. There's several different ones, you know, for different things. But the most basic that I like to do on a regular basis, I think is easy, is just what's called equal breathing, right? And if you never thought about it before, you know, when you breathe in and out, there's a time, there's a amount of time that you breathe in and the amount of time that you breathe out, right? So sometimes that's not equal. You know, sometimes you know, and vice versa, right? So, and that corresponds to states of the mind, you know, frustration or relaxed and all of that. But equal breathing, where you're, say, 6 seconds out, 6 seconds in, and you consciously keeping that same balance, right? Creates a sense of balance and equilibrium in yourself. So that's the one I'd like to share. But I encourage you to explore, you know, many different techniques and see what fits. Like herbs, you use different herbs for different things, different times, right? So 5 minutes. We'll be.